Right now. I just press the button. Wow, my booba really go whoop. Haha. This is the sound of me going to YouTube. There we go. I must make sure that YouTube works. Thank you for that, right? We are going to be reading Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves is a game. I have brain cells, I promise. Let's see. There we go. And that should be as intended. And we've got TikTok chat. Tic-tac. We got TikTok chat. How many though? How many what? You don't follow though? Don't follow. I don't what huh? What do I not do? I don't know what I do. Oh, you were talking about the thing with the stuff. Oh my gosh, they changed the name of the bot. Uh-oh. All of my you guys remember earlier how I made it? Jap! Thank you for gifting a sub to Nuke Boss. Nuke Boss, congratulations, you have a sub. You remember how I had to fix the thing where it was like, oh, don't show the messages for the bots and the host? Yeah, it's doing that again. It's doing that again. So now I have to go back into the settings and tell it to ignore the bots again. Hopefully that works. All right. Well, hi, King. Hello. Let's go ahead and get TikTok chat in this house. We want to make sure all of our fishies are alive, and allowed. Okay, how many brain cells? 1. Hi, Pan. Oh. the one really funny snore sound. Okay. Today we are going to be reading Wuthering Heights. I killed about 5 brain cells. You can't kill them. Only I kill them. There we go. I gotta do the thing where I calibrate again. Okay. It be lagging a bit. The brain? Yes. All right. We have requested siren singing. So for 5 minutes, I will sing to you. Which means that I press these buttons. Whoosh. Okay. You have your siren singing. You guys you couldn't help but make me laugh, huh? You couldn't help it. You just had to make me laugh. I do see that we have some minor adjustments to make to the chat, so I'm gonna do that and refresh that. Hopefully that fixes it. I'm gonna turn the music back on. And we are going to read. If you are new here, my name is Steph, and I am your deep sea caretaker, and this is Sanctuary. I will read to you books and stories. I will also do ASMR roleplay on the YouTube channel. I will turn all of my reading into audiobooks on the YouTube channel, and sometimes I'm funny. Today we are beginning a new book. So this is to answer a question from earlier. We are beginning a new book called Wuthering Heights by Emily Bront. So if you are unfamiliar with this story, it's okay. So am I. If you are watching on TikTok, the more that you like the stream and you share the stream and you follow on the stream and you comment on the stream, the more that the stream gets shared out with other people. So, albeit I know I am putting you to sleep, I greatly request your time and effort to push the stream out to other viewers. So I would appreciate that. I do need to update what book we are reading. Cadmium, thank you for triggering the bot. Uh-oh. I just saw a new... Oh, God. Oh, okay. This is from a long time ago. Okay. I cannot fix that for right now, but that's okay. I will just have to come back to it. Is somebody able to send a message either in the general chat of the Discord or in the suggestions channel and remind me to update the bot? Please and thank you. That's it. That's all you have to say. Update the bot. So otherwise, I believe some of the comments are also saying new model, question mark. This is a customizable model gifted to us by the wonderful Jap. We can please say thank you, Jap. And this model is retextured by yours truly. So I have modified it so that I can have my hair the way that I like to have my hair. And I try to make it look a lot like my model, given it's customizable, so you can only get so far and so much. But I hope you like it. I hope you think that it's very cute. I think that it's very cute. And without further ado, put a 1 in chat if you are ready to read. I will be, as you do that, I will talk. I do record my reading as I read, because as I said earlier, this is the progress of creating an audiobook. What you hear is not exactly going to be the audiobook that is made. I will be capturing only my microphone audio for the audiobook. So if you're interested in listening to the edited version of these readings, that is going to be the place. That is going to be, YouTube is going to be your place where you want to go to listen to the edited audiobooks. Hi, Dova. What's the genre or book? We are reading Wuthering Heights by Emily Bront. It is a classic romance novel. but it's kind of, how do I describe it? It's kind of a anti-romance, because characters are going to be romantically interested. Hi, Voodoo. Hi, Dova. Emikin, thank you for hanging out in chat earlier. There are going to be characters who are romantically interested in each other. However, there is going to be some kind of misunderstanding and miscommunication, and there's going to be some resentment and revenge that's going to come back to play later on in the story. So I hope you are as interested in reading this as I am. I cannot wait to see what this story has in store for us. Let me double check my microphone settings. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to stream. All right. I apologize. I just had some adjustments. Okay. So my microphone is really low. Evil and without evil intent. That implies that there can be evil intent. All right. I inhaled the wrong direction. Okay, it's good. It's good. It's fine. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bront. Chapter 1. 1801. I have just returned from a visit to my landlord, the solitary neighbor that I shall be troubled with. This is certainly a beautiful country. Wait, I know I literally just started. Did you guys want me to do this in an English accent? Yeah, don't worry about them. They're weird. Yes. All right. Guess I'm doing this again. Scratch that, editor Steph. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bront. Chapter 1. My voice cracked. Chapter 1. 1801. I have just returned from a visit to my landlord, the solitary neighbor that I shall be troubled with. This is certainly a beautiful country. In all England, I do not believe that I could have fixed on a situation so completely removed from the stir of society. A perfect misanthropist's heaven, and Mr. Heathcliff and I are such a suitable pair to divide the desolation between us. A capital fellow. He little imagined how my heart warmed towards him when I beheld his black eyes withdraw so suspiciously under their brows, as I rode up, and when his fingers sheltered themselves, with a jealous resolution, still further in his waistcoat, as I announced my name. "Mr. Heathcliff," I said. A nod was the answer. "Mr. Lockwood, your new tenant, sir. I do myself the honor of calling as soon as possible after my arrival, to express the hope that I have not inconvenienced you by my perseverance in soliciting the occupation of Thrushcross Grange. I heard yesterday you had had some thoughts. Thrushcross... Okay, I've also recognized a problem. Giggle fit. Oh yeah, I've got the giggles. What a time. Hi, Celine. Where is Fish? Fish is behind me. So do my cross the pond English speakers think that I should refrain from doing some form of whatever accent that was? You can tell me don't do that. You can I am not telling you to beg, don't take it out of context. But you're like, please, whatever that was, don't do that again. You sounded Porsche. It doesn't sound very Yorkshire to me. Are you real? No. Am I a fish? No, this is Patrick. Ugh. I had to change a setting in there because I couldn't hear myself through my microphone. We aren't arsed. We aren't arsed. Chapter 1, 1801. I have just returned from a visit to my landlord, the solitary neighbor that I shall be troubled with. This is certainly a beautiful country. In all England, I do not believe I could have fixed on a situation so completely removed from the stir of society. A perfect misanthropist's heaven. And Mr. Heathcliff and I are such an amiable pair to divide the desolation between us. No, that's not what it says. And Mr. Heathcliff and I are such a suitable pair to divide the desolation between us. A capital fellow. He little imagined how my heart warmed towards him when I beheld his black eyes withdraw so suspiciously under their brows, as I rode up, and when his fingers sheltered themselves, with a jealous resolution still further in his waistcoat, as I announced my name. "Mr. Heathcliff," I said. A nod was the answer. "Mr. Lockwood, your new tenant, sir. I do myself the honor of calling as soon as possible after my arrival, to express the hope that I have not inconvenienced you by my perseverance in soliciting the occupation of Thrushcross Grange. I heard yesterday you had some thoughts. Thrushcross Grange is my own, sir, he interrupted, wincing. I should not allow my one to inconvenience me. I should not allow anyone to inconvenience me if I could hinder it. Walk in. The walk in was uttered with closed teeth and expressed the sentiment go to the deuce. Even the gate over which he leant? Even the gate over which he leaned manifested no sympathizing movement to the words. And I think that circumstance determined me to accept the invitation. I felt interested in a man who seemed more exaggeratedly reserved than myself. When he saw my horse's breast fairly pushing the barrier, he did put out his hand to unchain it, and then sullenly preceded me up the causeway, calling, as we entered the court, "Joseph, take Mr. Lockwood's horse and bring up some wine." Here we have the whole establishment of domestics, I suppose, was the reflection suggested by this compound order. No wonder the grass grows up between the flags, and the cattle are all hedge cutters. And the cattle are only hedge cutters. Joseph was an elderly man. No. Here we have the whole establishment of domestics, I suppose, was the reflection suggested by this compound order. No wonder the grass grows up between the flags, and the cattle are the only hedge cutters. Joseph was an elderly, nay, an old man, very old perhaps, though hale and sinewy. "The Lord help us," he soliloquied in an undertone of peevish displeasure, while relieving me of my horse, looking, meantime, in my face so sourly that I charitably conjectured he must have need of divine aid to hairball.
Hi, White Sunset. Thank you for the biddies. Forehead kisses to you. Mwah.
Looking, meantime, in my face so sourly, I charitably conjectured he must have need of divine aid to digest his dinner, and his pious ejaculation had no reference to my unexpected advent. Wuthering Heights. My dinner is coming back to fight me. Sorry, that sounded so anime. That sounded so anime compared to the words that I'm saying. The raid? Was there a raid? Did I miss a raid? Why'd you say raid? Who said raid?
Dova, thank you for the 20 stream streak. Stretch! What? Okay.
Thank you for coming to my comedy show. I have checked my posture. I am still poshed. Looking, meantime, in my face so sourly that I charitably conjectured he must have need of divine aid to digest his dinner, and his pious ejaculation had no reference to my unexpected advent. Wuthering Heights is the name of Mr. Heathcliff's dwelling, wuthering being a significant provincial adjective, descriptive of the atmospheric tumult to which its station is exposed in stormy weather. Pure, bracing ventilation they must have up there at all times indeed. One may guess the power of the north wind, blowing over the edge, by the excessive slant of a few stunted firs at the end of the house, and by a range of gaunt thorns all stretching their limbs one way as if craving alms of the sun. Happily, the architect had foresight. Happily, the architect had foresight to build it strong. The narrow windows are deeply set in the wall, and the corners defended with large jutting stones. Before passing the threshold, I paused to admire the quantity of grotesque carving lavished over the front, and especially about the principal door, above which, among a wilderness of crumbling griffins and shameless little boys, I detected the date 1500 and the name Catherine Earnshaw. I would have made a few comments and requested a short history of the place from the surly owner, but his attitude at the door appeared to demand my speedy entrance, or complete departure, and I had no desire to aggravate his impatience previous to inspecting the penetralium. One step brought us into the family sitting room, without any introductory lobby or passage. They call it here the house, preeminently. I'm sorry, the food that I had on dinner is not sitting well on my vocal cords. I checked my posture. Still shrimp. You're right. I should chug water.
Hi, Kath.
One step brought us into the family sitting room, without any introductory lobby or passage. They call it here the house, preeminently. It includes kitchen and parlor, generally, but I believe at Wuthering Heights the kitchen is forced to retreat altogether into another quarter. At least, I distinguished a chatter of tongues and a clatter of culinary utensils deep within, and I observed no signs of roasting, boiling, or baking about the huge fireplace, nor any glittering of copper saucepans and tin colanders on the walls. On one end, indeed, reflected splendidly both light and heat from ranks of immense pewter dishes, interspersed with silver jugs and tankards, towering row after row on a vast oak dresser to the very roof. The latter had never been underdrawn. Its entire anatomy lay bare to an inquiring eye, except where a frame of wood laden with oatcakes and clusters of legs of beef, mutton, and ham concealed it. Above the chimney were sundry villainous old guns and a couple of horse pistols, and, by way of ornament, 3 gaudily painted canisters disposed along its edge. Disposed along its ledge. The floor was of smooth white stones. The floor was of smooth white stone.
Oh my god, it's Simbrandel. Hi, Sin. Hi, Sin. Hi. Hi. Hi, Sin. Hi. Hi. Hi.
How do I do the button? Do I have a mod that can give Sin a shout out, please? I can't. Excuse me.
Do I have a mod? Can somebody mod? Mod check. There we go. Guys, go say hi to Sin. Okay.
The floor was of smooth white stone. The chairs, high-backed, primitive structures, painted green. One or two heavy black ones lurking in the shade. In an arch under the dresser reposed a huge liver-colored bitch pointer, surrounded by a swarm of squealing puppies. And other dogs haunted under recesses. The apartment and furniture would have been nothing extraordinary as belonging to a homely northern farmer. With a stubborn countenance and stalwart limbs set out to advantage in knee breeches and gaiters. Such an individual seated in his armchair, his mug of ale frothing on the round table before him, is to be seen in any circuit of 5 or 6 miles among these hills, if you go at the right time after dinner. But Mr. Heathcliff forms a singular contrast to his abode and style of living. He is a dark-skinned gypsy in aspect, in dress and manners a gentleman. That is, as much a gentleman as many a country squire, rather slovenly, perhaps, yet not looking amiss with his negligence, because he has an erect and handsome figure, and rather morose. I have a sympathetic chord within me. Erect. Rather slovenly, perhaps, yet not looking amiss with his negligence, because he has an erect and handsome figure, and rather morose. Possibly, some people might suspect him of a degree of underbred pride. I have a sympathetic chord within. That tells me it is nothing of the sort. I know, by instinct, his reserve springs from an aversion to showy displays of feeling, to manifestations of mutual kindliness. He'll love and hate equally under cover, and esteem it a species of impertinence to be loved or hated again. No, I'm running on too fast. I bestow my own attributes over liberally on him. Mr. Heathcliff may have entirely dissimilar reasons for keeping his hand out of the way when he meets a would-be acquaintance, to those which actuate. To those which actuate me. Let me hope my constitution You just gotta let the duck out sometime. Do we still have any TikTok chatters? Or did they all die? I feel like TikTok's quiet now. You laugh at erect but not pious ejaculation? Well, I laughed at it because Jap laughed at it, okay? Tars, shout out to Tars. Thank you for being in TikTok chat. Even though you're sleeping. That's okay. You're allowed to sleep. You sleepy little fishies. Oh, you're so cute.
Hi, Bros of Love.
Duck hunt? Please do not. Oh, you're on YouTube from TikTok. Tell that dude to pull up on Twitch. I can't force them. I can't force people to be on Twitch. Even though it'd be really cool to get Twitch partner and businesses would take me seriously. It's okay. Where was I? I can force them. Also, is this a gay romance? Twitch is such an platform now with all the ads and stuff. You know, Jab, thank you so much for gifting Kit a sob. Thank you for the hydrate. What are the requirements for Twitch partner? In order to be Twitch partner eligible, you have to have a stream of an average of 75 viewers or more on 6 days in a 6 separate days in a 30-day period, 2 months in a row, and then you can apply. And then they can turn you down. Hi! Care package sent. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the hydrate and the posture check and the stretch. Alright, let's get a big stretchies. I hope you get accepted then. Well, the problem is, I have to actually average 75 viewers on Twitch. Didn't they change it recently? Yes. They made it... Previously, they did not explicitly state that you had to have 6 streams of 75 average or more on for 2 months. Okay. TikTok ads? Does TikTok even have ads on live streams? I know Tars is probably sleeping. Or trying to. But I don't know that there are ads on TikTok live streams. So if you watch on TikTok, you literally get no ads. And like, people can subscribe on TikTok. I don't know how much, TikTok takes a cut, but I haven't had a single person subscribe on TikTok because, like, why would they? You don't really get a benefit. Twitch forces people to get a subscription so that you avoid the ads. They will be coming soon. I wonder. Hi, Shikimori. We should get back to reading. I've taken more sips of water, so... Okay. I'm just hoping that, like, I can get that funk out of my... Because from my dinner, there's a funk in my throat. There's a frog in my throat. Let's just breathe in cat hair. Pump up the jam. Pump it up. Oh no, my age is showing. No, I'm running on too fast. I bestow my own attributes over liberally on him. Mr. Heathcliff may have entirely dissimilar reasons for keeping his hand out of the way when he meets a would-be acquaintance, to those which actuate me. Let me hope my constitution is almost peculiar. Oh my God. I don't know if you heard my stomach, but I heard my stomach. Let me hope my constitution. Let me hope my constitution is almost peculiar. My dear mother used to say I should never have a comfortable home, and only last summer I proved myself perfectly unworthy of one. While enjoying a month of fine weather at the seacoast, I was thrown into the company of a most fascinating creature, a real goddess in my eyes. As long as she took no notice of me, I never told my love vocally. Still, if looks have language, the merest idiot might have guessed I was over head and ears. She understood me at last, and looked a return, the sweetest of all imaginable looks. And what did I do? I confessed it with shame. Shrunk icily into myself, like a snail, at every glance retired colder and farther, till finally the poor innocent was led to doubt her own senses, and overwhelmed with confusion at her supposed mistake, persuaded her mamma to decamp. By this curious turn of disposition, I have gained the reputation of deliberate heartlessness. How undeserved, I alone can appreciate. I took a seat at the end of the hearthstone opposite that towards which my landlord advanced, and filled up an interval of silence by attempting to caress the canine mother, who had left her nursery and was sneaking wolfishly to the back of my legs, her lip curled up, and her, damn it, chair. Thank you for the hype train. Sorry, my stomach is making all kinds of sounds and movements right now. What does the hype train do? A hype train is Twitch's way of trying to encourage other viewers to give bits or gift subs or subscribe. It's meant to just like build hype in the community. Thank you for the stretch. Maybe this stretch will be good for my belly. Ooh, you're almost done with the puzzle. Whoa now, that's too many stretches. I took a seat at the end of the hearthstone opposite that towards which my landlord advanced, and filled up an interval of silence by attempting to caress the canine mother, who had left her nursery, and was sneaking wolfishly to the back of my legs, her lip curled up, and her white teeth watering for a snatch. My caress provoked a long guttural gnarl. "You'd better leave the dog alone," growled Mr. Heathcliff in unison, checking fiercer checking fiercer demonstrations with a punch of his foot. She's not accustomed to be spoiled, not kept for a pet. Then striding to a side door, he shouted again, "Joseph!" Joseph mumbled indistinctly in the depths of the cellar, but gave no intimation of ascending. So his master dived down to him, leaving me vis-a-vis. Define. Vis-a-vis. 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 Okay. So, his master dived down to him, leaving me vis-a-vis. The ruffian bitch and a pair of grim, shaggy sheepdogs, who shared with her a jealous guardianship over all my movements. Not anxious to come in contact with their fangs, I sat still. But, imagining they would scarcely understand tacit insults, I unfortunately indulged in winking and making faces at the trio, and some turn of my physiognomy, and some turn of my physiognomy so irritated Madame that she suddenly broke into a fury and leapt on my knees. I flung her back and hastened to interpose the table between us.
Good job, Puzzles. Good job, Puzzler.
Dova, would you like another puzzle? Or do we have anybody else who's interested in solving puzzles? And some turn of my physiognomy so irritated Madame that she suddenly broke into a fury and leapt on my knees. I flung her back and hastened to interpose the table between us. This proceeding aroused the whole hive. Half a dozen four-footed fiends of various sizes and ages issued from hidden dens to the common center. I felt my heels and coat laps peculiar subjects of assault, and parrying off the larger combatants as effectually as I could with the poker, I was constrained to demand, aloud, assistance from some of the household in re-establishing peace. Mr. Heathcliff and his man climbed the cellar steps with vexatious phlegm. I don't think they moved 1 second faster than usual, though the hearth was an absolute tempest of worrying and yelping. Happily, an inhabitant of the kitchen made more dispatch. A lusty dame, with tucked-up gown, bare arms, and fire-flushed cheeks, rushed into the midst of us flourishing a fire-flamed cheeks rushed into the midst of us flourishing a frying pan, and used that weapon and her tongue to such purpose that the storm subsided magically, and she only remained, heaving like a sea after a high wind, when her master entered on scene. "What the devil is the matter?" he asked, eyeing me in a manner that I could ill endure after this inhospitable treatment. "What the devil is the matter?" he asked, eyeing me in a manner that I could... Sorry, I am struggling to read. A tongue lashing. "What the devil is the matter?" he asked, eyeing me in a manner that I could ill endure after this inhospitable treatment. What the devil indeed, I muttered. The herd of possessed swine could have had no worse spirits in them than those animals of yours, sir. You might as well leave a stranger with a brood of tigers. They won't meddle with persons who touch nothing. They won't meddle with persons who touch nothing, he remarked, putting the bottle before me and restoring the displaced table. The dogs do right to be vigilant. Take a glass of wine? No, thank you. Not bitten, are you? Not bitten, are you? If I had been, I would have set my signet on the biter. Signet? Yeah, signet. I would have set my signet on the biter. Heathcliff's countenance relaxed into a grin. Come, he said. You are flurried, Mr. Lockwood. Here, take a little wine. Guests are so exceedingly rare in this house that I and my dogs, I am willing to own, hardly know how to receive them. Your health, sir? Are you kidding me, TikTok? You're really gonna give me the, oh my god, are you still live? It's literally not even been an hour. Alright. I bowed and returned the pledge. There we go. I bowed and returned the pledge, beginning to perceive that it would be foolish to sit sulking after I just literally can't read. Oh my god. The ability to read is just lost on me. I bowed and returned the pledge, beginning to perceive that it would be foolish to sit sulking for the misbehavior of a pack of curs. Besides, I felt loth to yield the fellow further amusement at my expense, since his humor took that turn. He, probably swayed by prudential consideration of the folly of offending a good tenant, relaxed a little into a laconic style of chipping off his pronouns and auxiliary verbs, and introduced what he supposed would be a subject of interest to me. A discourse on the advantages and disadvantages of my present place of retirement. I found him very intelligent on the topics we touched, and before I went home, I was encouraged so far as to volunteer another visit tomorrow. He evidently wished no repetition of my intrusion. I shall go, notwithstanding. It is astonishing how sociable I feel. How sociable. Okay. It is astonishing how sociable I feel myself compared with him. That was, for some reason, a really difficult chapter to get through. You know what? I'm gonna take a couple of deep breaths, and I encourage you to take a couple of deep breaths with me, okay? Because I don't know about you, but I think I need to give myself some grace and some empathy, because I have been enduring insomnia, battling insomnia the past 2 nights. And normally, I don't have to deal with this, but my My body has been going through a lot of strain, so I'm going to take a deep breath and give myself some kindness. Deep breath in. And out. And in. And out. Keep going for however long you feel you need until you feel relaxed. Okay. I feel like that was really nice. Yes. Thank you, Nuke Boss. Thank you, Bridge Builder. I hope so too. Sour Patch? Are you talking about Sour Patch Kids? It's a peaceful stream. Yes, Fizzbon. Drink water as well. Now that we've taken a couple of deep breaths, doing a nice posture check and a stretch and a drink of water is a good way to just reset. I'm glad you're doing better. I'm definitely not as bad as I was yesterday, but that's not to say that today won't or tomorrow won't have its consequences, you know? Oh, you were the one that came from TikTok. So what was your name on TikTok? You were... Excuse me. Pardon me. You are Tars. I'm that guy, Britt. Let's see. We had Delpher. We had Jess. Omni. Leo. From TikTok. Oh, from TikTok to YouTube. Oh. So you were on YouTube, you were Bullock? Ah, okay, yeah, Bullock. Yeah. Hello. And now I'm starting to put, I would say 2 and 2 together, but it's 3 and 3 and 3. Because it's 3 platforms. Okay. Let's try to continue. So that first chapter was 6 pages. This next chapter is 10 pages. Interesting how it slowly works its way up. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you. Hi, Kevin. Oh, my head itches. Thank you so much for subscribing. Put a 1 in chat if you are ready to read the next chapter. Put a 2 in chat if you're asleep. Also, a question for anyone interested in doing a puzzle. Do you want a puzzle? Because if we don't have anybody who wants to puzzle, that's okay. I can, we can hold off on the puzzle. I can make puzzle go away. I'm prepping to go to sleep. Okay. You're ready for sleepy time? I don't know what ASMR Mans, but I don't think ASMR Mans knows what ASMR Mans is. Am I ready to read? Yeah, I'm ready to give it a shot. I'm gonna try. Pro Self-Love is ready. We did also just have an ad play, too, so the ads are over now. Chapter 2. Yesterday afternoon set in a misty and cold. I had half mind. Starting off to a very bad start. Yesterday afternoon set in misty and cold. I had half a mind to spend it by my study fire, instead of wading through heath and mud to Wuthering Heights. On coming up from dinner, however, nota bene, I dined between 12 and 1 o'clock, a housekeeper, a matronly lady, taken as a fixture along with the house, could not or would not comprehend my request that I might be served at 5. On mounting the stairs with this lazy intention and stopping into the room, I saw a servant girl on her knees surrounded by brushes and coal scuttles, and raising an infernal dust as she extinguished the flames with heaps of cinders. This spectacle drove me back immediately. I took my hat and after a 4 miles walk, arrived at Heathcliff's garden gate just in time to escape the first feathery flakes of a snow shower. On that bleak hilltop, the earth was hard with a black frost, and the air made me shiver through every limb. Being unable to remove the chain, I jumped over, and running up the flagged causeway bordered with straggling gooseberry bushes, knocked vainly for admittance till my knuckles tingled and the dogs howled. "Wretched inmates," I ejaculated mentally, "you deserve perpetual isolation from your species, for your churlish How can I be a fish? If you follow the instructions on stream to check out the other platforms, you will find yourself fishy. If you send a chat message on other platforms, you get a fish. And then every time you send a chat message, your fish moves. I am struggling to read. And maybe that means that I need to go to sleep. But that can only be true if my body lets me go to sleep. Maybe the problem is that, which it doesn't make sense. I didn't have this problem when I read Pride and Prejudice and I read Jane Eyre. Why would I suddenly have an issue with speaking in some kind of accent? Wretched inmates, I ejaculated mentally. You deserve perpetual isolation from your species for your churlish inhospitality. At least, I would not keep my doors barred in the daytime. I don't care, I will get in. So resolved, I grasped the latch and shook it vehemently. Vinegar-faced Joseph projected his head from round the window of the barn. Vinegar-faced Joseph. Vinegar-faced D with the D.
Hi, Jacques. I'm losing my mind. Thank you, Tank. You're very sweet. Twinning.
Vinegar-faced Joseph projected his head from a round window of the barn. What are you for? He shouted. To masters down into fold? To masters down into fold. Go round by the end of the... Okay. Go round by the end of the... He's not saying whole ass words! He's not speaking in whole words! Try not... Is it too late to switch it up? Well, if I switch it up permanently for the whole audiobook, if I were to read the book without an accent, which, again, this could just be a today issue, I would have to redo the first chapter. What are you reading? We are reading Wuthering Heights.
Hi, Melody.
I don't know if the puzzlers want another puzzle, but I provide puzzles anyhow. What are you for? He shouted. To masters down to fold. Go round by the end of the lathe, if you went to speak to him. Is there anybody inside? Is there anybody inside to open the door? I hollowed, responsively. There's nobody to missus. And she'll not upon till you make her face some dins to eat. How the fuck am I supposed to know what this guy is saying? There's nobody to missus, and she'll not upon to ye make you and you flay some dins. Sounds Scottish. What are you for? To masters down to fold. It fold. What you for? He shouted. To masters down to fold. It fold. Go round by the end of the lathe, if you want to speak to him. There's nobody to missus, and she'll not upon to ye, and she'll not opened, and you make, and she'll not opened, and she'll not opened, open, and she'll not open to an, she'll not opened, and she'll not open to an, opened, and you make a fly some dins to eat. That's the part that I'm like, huh? What? There's nobody to missus, and she'll not open to, and she'll not open to and ye make her, and you make you fly some dins tonight till neat. There is no but to missus, and she'll not open to ye. And you mak your flesome did, and you mak your flesome dins till neat. Why? Cannot you tell her whom I am, Joseph? Nor'n than me. Nor'n than me. I hae no hand with. I'll hae no hand with it. I'll hae no hand with. Nor'n than me. I'll hae no hand with, muttered the head, vanishing. We'll just leave it at that. You know what, Editor Steph? Good luck. Pfft, you're gonna need it. Muttered the head, vanishing. The snow began to drive thickly. I seized the handle to essay another trial. I seized the handle to essay another. Like, what the fuck is this statement? I seized the handle to essay another trial. I hope you guys are not judging me in my inability to read this, because genuinely, what the hell? These it's just kind of, it's confounding to my sleep-addled brain, all right? Muttered the head, vanishing. Yes. Yes, Beans. There were a lot. I will share, let's see, snipping tool, then this. Like, how... Uh-oh. My mouse is doing that thing. Something's gonna crash. What crashed? Nope. Didn't crash? PogChamp. Where did my on-screen keyboard go? I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. My on-screen keyboard is gone. Okay. Alright. Well, you guys will get to see the screenshot after stream's over. Today was a series of unfortunate events. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Kuro. To meisters down it te fold, go round by t end or to lath, if you went to spake to him. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. The snow began to drive thickly. I seized the handle to essay another trial, when a young man without a coat and shouldering a pitchfork appeared in the yard behind. He hailed me to follow him, and, after marching through a wash house and a paved area containing a coal shed, pump, and pigeon cot, we at length arrived in a huge, warm, cheerful apartment where I was formally received. It glowed delightfully in the radiance of an immense fire, compounded of coal, peat, and wood. Near the table, laid for a plentiful evening meal, I was pleased to observe the missus, an individual whose existence I had never previously suspected. I bowed and waited, thinking she would bid me take a seat. She looked at me, leaning back in a chair, and remained motionless and mute. Rough weather, I remarked. I'm afraid, Mrs. Heathcliff, the door must bear the consequence of your servant's leisure attendance. I had hard work to make them hear me. She never opened her mouth. I stared. She stared also. At any rate, she kept her eyes on me in a cool, regardless manner, exceedingly embarrassing and disagreeable. Sit down, said the young man gruffly. He'll be in soon. I obeyed, and hemmed, and called the villain Juno, who deigned, at this second interview, to move the extreme tip of a tail, in token of owning my acquaintance. A beautiful animal, I commenced again. Do you intend potting with the little ones, madam? They are not mine, said the amiable hostess, more repellingly than Heathcliff himself could have replied. Ah, your favourites are among these, I continued, turning an obscure cushion full of something like cats. A strange choice of favourites, she observed scornfully. Unluckily, it was a heap of dead rabbits. I hemmed once more and drew closer to the hearth, repeating my comment on the wildness of the evening. You should not have come out, she said, rising and reaching from the chimney-piece 2 of the painted canisters. Her position before was sheltered from the light. Now, I had a distinct view of her whole figure and countenance. She was slender, and apparently scarcely past girlhood. An admirable form. An admirable form, and the most exquisite little face that I have ever had the pleasure of beholding. Small features, very fair, flaxen ringlets, or rather golden, hanging loose on her delicate neck, and eyes, had they been agreeable in expression, that would have been irresistible. Fortunately for my susceptible heart, the only sentiment they evinced hovered between scorn and a kind of desperation, singularly unnatural to be detected there. The canisters were almost out of her reach. I made motion to aid her. She turned upon me as a miser might turn if anyone attempted to assist him in counting his gold. I don't want your help, she snapped. I can get them for myself. I beg your pardon, I hastened to reply. Were you asked to tea? She demanded, tying an apron over her neat black frock. And standing with a spoonful of the leaf poised over the pot. I shall be glad to have a cup, I answered. Were you asked? She repeated. No, I said, half smiling. You are the proper person to ask me. She flung the tea back, spoon and all, and resumed her chair in a pet. Her forehead corrugated, and her red... Okay, yeah, I said that right. Her forehead corrugated, and her red underlip pushed out, like a child's ready to cry. Meanwhile, the young man had slung on to his person a decidedly shabby... What the fuck is happening in this book? What the hell is happening in this book? Meanwhile, the young man had slung onto his person a decided... Meanwhile, the young man had slung onto his person a decidedly shabby upper garment, and, erecting himself before the blaze, looked down on me from the corner of his eyes, for all the world as if there were some mortal feud unavenged between us. I began to doubt whether he were a servant or not. His dress and speech were both rude, entirely devoid of the superiority observable in Mr. and Mrs. Heathcliff. His thick brown curls were rough and uncultivated, his whiskers encroached bearishly over his cheeks, and his hands were embrowned like those of a common labourer. Still, his bearing was free, almost haughty, and he showed none of a domestic's assiduity.
Assiduity?
Yeah. And he showed none of a domestic's assiduity. You're echoing? I'm echoing.
Excuse me. That was yucky. I'm sorry.
Not to badmouth this book, but I can't follow for shit. Let it be known I voted for the Orphan Girl book. You're not echoing for me? Okay. If you're saying I'm echoing as in like I'm repeating the same thing over and over, I know. Believe me, I know. Okay. Let's take a hot moment. Let's take a hot and a thick moment, okay? I'm pausing the recording and we're going to have a hot and a thick moment. So far in this book, a man starts off with saying, Mr. Heathcliff and I are such a suitable pair. My heart warmed towards him when I looked into his black eyes, which withdrew suspiciously under their brows, and kept his hand in his waistcoat instead of shaking his hand. And then our main character proceeds to say, hey, I'm a tenant to the area. Like, I heard something about, like, working in or owning, I don't know, my perseverance in soliciting the occupation of. So I guess he was like, hey, I heard that you were considering selling your house, or like this property, and I'm interested in buying, and it just so happens to be the property the guy fucking lives in. So Heathcliff is like, excuse me, it's my own house. You know when you get like spam texts that are like, have you ever heard of people getting texts from like realtors and wholesale buyers that are like, hey, are you interested in selling your house? That's exactly what our main character just did, is he walked up to a guy who just so happened to be standing outside of his house. It was like, hey, are you interested in selling? Like, I heard you wanted to sell your house. Do I do ASMR kissing videos? No, I do not. What's the deal with the rabbits? The dogs are hunting dogs. So, and they're violent, or they're aggressive as well. They're not petting domesticated dogs. I'm so glad you guys love hot, thick moments. And our main character, even though Heathcliff was speaking to him with the attitude of like, go fuck yourself, our main character, who was on a horse, was like practically leaning over the gate to get into this guy's property. And so Heathcliff was like obliged to let this guy in and show hospitality, because while our main character is going to live in a residence, or already lives in a residence of Heathcliff, and this guy, our main character, is like looking at all of the details of this property, being like, oh yeah, wow, you know, the architects really knew what they were doing when they built this house, and like those windows are set into the walls very well and safely, and you know, there are some really interesting details on the front of the door, and this house was built in 1500s, you know. Wow, really cool. And he's inspecting like the inside of the house, being like, oh, we don't even get like a foyer or an entry room. It just goes straight into this into like a sitting room. And this sitting room has a big hearth and like a bunch of kitchen related stuff, with like he says ranks of immense pewter dishes with silver jugs and tankards. So I don't recall what pewter dishes are, but silver jugs and tankards makes me think like drinking things. I'm having trouble piecing together your forehead. Ah, really? Normally people would do that like first. Pewter, like metal. And then we also so in this entry room, let's see. On one end of the room reflected splendidly both light and heat from ranks of immense pewter dishes interspersed with silver jugs and tankards, towering row after row on a vast oak dresser to the very roof. So there's rows and rows of metal dishes, silver jugs, and tankards. Get refinancing calls all the time. He's an 1800s telemarketing asshole. Telemarketing realtor. To the very roof, so to the ceiling. And a frame of wood laden with oat cakes and clusters of legs of beef, mutton, and ham. So then we've got all kinds of meat here. We've got oat cakes. Above the chimney were sundry villainous old guns, a couple of horse pistols, 3 gaudily painted canisters, the floor was of smooth white stone, 2 chairs are green. 2 chairs are black and sitting in the corner of the room. Metal what? I think you misheard that. I think you might have misheard that. Yeah, the chairs, high-backed, primitive structures painted green, 1 or 2 heavy black ones lurking in the shade. 2 horse pistols. Yes, we are reading Wuthering Heights, and we couldn't even get 2 pages into the 2nd chapter because we're just like so confounded. What is happening in this book? And essentially, to simplify it, our main character is essentially doing the 1801 equivalent of telemarketing, soliciting, real estate, wholesale text messages. And he's not even surprised. He's not even acting weird that the owner of this house is treating him like shit. Like, he walks up to the house, says, "Hey, I heard you were interested in selling your house, and I want to buy it." And this guy cannot say, "Go fuck yourself." But instead, he's like, "Come on in. Like, I'm not interested in selling it, but you are a tenant of mine. Therefore, I have to show you hospitality." And the last thing this character notices, in an arch under the dresser, so under all of these metal 18th century pyramid scheme. It's so true. It's so accurate. Reposed a huge liver-colored bitch pointer. Dog, by the way. Liver-colored? What color is a liver? What color is a liver? Can somebody tell me that? Surrounded by a swarm of squealing puppies and other dogs haunted other recesses. Brownish, flesh burgundy, or red. How damaged by alcohol is the liver in question? It's the 1800s. That made a movie based on this story. Oh, yes. Recently there was a modern release, a modern movie made on words. Jesus Christ. Why do you guys let me stream if I can't speak English? Kidney bean color? For a dog? Anyway, so recently, the new Wuthering Heights movie came out. I have heard that critics are unhappy with the movie because the director made it unnecessarily raunchy. Albeit Wuthering Heights does have some intense themes of obsessive, dark passion, it is a clean story. That there is not as much happening that happens in the movie. In the book, you may get fade to black. In the movie, they discovered the limits of other things on screen. So, I have not seen the movie, and based on the reviews of said movie, I'm not too sure that I will be partaking in it until I finish reading this book. So if you are interested in reading the book, you should listen to my live streams, and then we'll watch the movie together. I have to run to the bathroom, so I will be right back, and then we'll continue roasting this book. Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I died a little bit on the inside. I died a little bit on the inside. I'm just gonna be real with you. Oh no. That was straight up not a good time. That was... I died a little bit. I died a little bit. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and end stream. Congratulations to our puzzlers, ASMR Man's Odd Bee and Noisy Bee. I didn't realize we had bees in here. We're gonna go ahead and end stream before my stomach fights back. And before I die again. So that was fun. Tomorrow I will not be reading. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time Zone, we're going to have Fortnite. Fortnite with a cat demon. A cat girl demon. Damn! I hope you like being here. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry that I had issues both with reading and not reading. We are going to raid to somebody new. I don't know who. I have not been there before, so please do be kind and respectful to them. We're just gonna spread the love and support other ASMR creators. Okie dokie. So, please be good, be well behaved, and take care of yourselves. I will do my usual goodbyes, alright? This is the part where we say our goodnights, our goodbyes, and our see you tomorrows. I will be back again tomorrow for a Fortnite collab at 6 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. And if you miss my reading, I highly encourage you to check out any of my previous live streams on YouTube under the Live tab, or if you like listening to the reading without any of the mistakes or the talking in between, you can watch the audiobooks in my YouTube videos. If you're not already in the Discord server, I highly encourage you be in the server. You will only get notified for what you choose to be notified for. So, until tomorrow night, I will see you again. Until tomorrow night, drink your water, eat your food, be kind to yourself and others, and have a great night. Don't forget to !raid, copy the raid message, and we will share the love when we arrive at our new location.